were some of the biggest challenges you faced during the initial stage of setting up the business or, you becoming an author?
Yeah, I think I was probably say the biggest thing is disappointment, getting told no. You get a couple of yeses, and you're like, "Oh man, this is great. We can just do all kinds of stuff. Let's go ahead." So a lot of the rejections for as many articles that I've written and gotten published, there's probably three times more that gotten no's to.
Wow.
And so I had to realize from a business standpoint, in terms of the product, that the no's were not representative of my competency. And at first I had to get over that. It was hard when people rejected pitches or opportunities. I'm thinking, wow, maybe I'm not as good a writer as I thought. And it wasn't until I got my first kill fee. For people who may not be aware, there's money that places will pay you not to write something that you submitted. So it's like they don't want to publish it, and they may or may not want you to get it published somewhere else. So then they pay you a kill fee for it. And when I got my first kill fee, it wasn't a whole lot. It was about $300, but in my head, I'm like, wow, somebody paid me $300 not to publish something. They didn't want it because and they felt like, okay, we'll give you something so that you don't take it elsewhere or anything else. Then I realized, okay, I'm actually a decent writer. This has nothing to do with me not being a good writer. So I think that was the first thing to overcome. Of course, everything else, managing money in terms of what was coming in, and how that business, setting that up versus not setting it up in the context of just keeping everything in the household and trying to measure that. That was a whole headache too. That was really a headache because there was one year where thankfully some money came in, but that was taxed on the household. And then that's when I had to say, okay, we can't do it like this no more. We have to do it a different way. So those are some of the little hiccups and things, because ultimately when you start your own business, whether you're a single entrepreneur or you have an LLC or anything like that, if you don't have the network of folks that know, or that can tell you some of the pitfalls that you're walking into or that you could walk into, you're going in blind. And it's not so much that there's anyone to blame, but it's just easier when you have people who've been through this process to really show you what to do. So those are the sort of growing pains that I dealt with. So even with friends and folks that I try to encourage to write and to do the kind of things that I do, I try to give them sort of the heads up that I didn't have, so that way they don't have some of the same issues that I dealt with when I started doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the point of having our show
Yeah.
is to have you
Yeah.
on and have different, leaders or
And
business owners to kind of give that advice to our audience and
right.
and research when they're on their research. If they don't have a mentor, this show or this episode can provide that.
Because I want to chew back
Absolutely.
on the fact that you said kill fee.
I know I
I've
wanted to go on that one
never
too.
heard that,
I never heard of
because
that.
there's a lot of people who want to write books. The most thing that they're probably thinking about, will this sell? Will people buy my book? I've never had in the back of my mind, if I write this, will there be a kill fee for this? That would the publisher don't want me to have this published?
So yeah, I was floored. I was floored. I never heard of such a
Is
thing.
is there a limit to that? Is it like you said one of the fees, but then like, hey, we don't want you to publish that anywhere. Is there like after a year? Like what is that like?
So I'm not particularly sure. The I got a kill fee one time where it was like they paid me a certain amount, but I could go get it published elsewhere.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's
Um,
flexible.
so it's flexible. It all depends on who you submit your pieces to, because some places when you submit, they have rights over it where no one else can get it. And particularly if you sign a deal, they'll take your op-ed, and then you'll sign paperwork to say that they have exclusive rights. Of course, you have the intellectual property, but they
Right.
have exclusive rights in terms of it can't be published elsewhere. So when you do that, and for whatever reason, one reason or another, maybe they think it's inflammatory, maybe the editing isn't working between what you want and what the editor wants, they decide, okay, we're going to kill this, so we're not going to do it. They have rights to it. So then they say, we'll pay you because we have the rights to it. We'll give you something and just consider it dead. Nothing will be put. And then in that case, you don't have the ability to publish it or to do it again. I mean, you could rewrite it and kind of finesse it in a different way and see if someone else does it. But that particular one, you wouldn't be able to do. But then, like I said, another place, I was able to got a kill fee, and then I was able to take it somewhere else and get it published.